Alright, welcome back everybody. After a really exciting game last week against the Sacramento Miners, the Sentinels were able to secure a last-minute 1-point victory over a very tough Miners team, thanks to a missed field goal by their kicker. There were some heroics going on in that game, notably from Dalton Triplett. I'm going to turn down the volume on this because it sounds like it's coming in a little too hot. There we go. That might be a little better. Hopefully it's not making you deaf, because that'd be terrible of me. So yes, we saw Dalton Triplett go for over 100 yards again, and of course Perry Wood with the amazing leaping catch, busting downfield and going through 3 tacklers to get in the end zone to give his team the lead. And of course we can't forget Tanner Malone's awesome safety. So what are we going to look at this episode? Because we went over the box score last week after the game, and I'm trying to break these down into more digestible nuggets, so I'm not making 15-hour-long videos. So today I think we're just going to do some scouting, because I have some points, and then we'll do weekly training. I got some upgrades already, and I'll have more after I do training. Then we'll look at our season stats as we wind down through the home stretch of the season. And then next episode, I think we'll take a closer look at the Celtic Tigers, who come in at 7-6 on the year. And I believe they're second in their division, but we'll double check that when we look at them closer. So let's go scouting. Actually, let's go see if there's any news in the draft. I don't think there is at this point. No, you can see. Generally, they shut down around this year and don't start back up again until the end of the season when the Combine's numbers start coming in. As far as scouting goes, that's not going to progress too well either, because I've scouted most of the top talent at every position, well, except for running back, so I guess I could do running backs for now. I generally hold out some positions until the Combine, because I need to know, knowing how fast some of these talents are is really going to matter. I mean, this guy has all A's, A-, A-, A-. That's great, but he's 6'3", 236. I'm gonna think he's probably not all that fast, but I don't know because it doesn't tell me until the Combine comes around. And it's definitely true for the offensive line. I've already told you my theories on that. I wait until the Combine. I mean, if there's a number 1 guy, I might look to see just what his blocking talent is, because I want to see A's out of those top guys. Otherwise, they're not worth picking up in that high. I mean, you can get B's later down in the draft. Let's just make sure I didn't overlook anyone. Nope. Defensive ends. Let's scout this guy. And he's all B's. 3rd round talent. D tackles, I'm pretty caught up on that. Outside, yep. Middle, let's just check, make sure. Outside linebackers. There's a lot of 3rd round talent guys. And corners, there's nothing as far as safety goes. Maybe a crazy Combine will get me to scout one. And punters and kick. Okay, so let's just look at some halfback talent. There's plenty of halfbacks. Even though I don't even need one, maybe I should focus. Nah, just in case somebody drops. I'm seeing a lot of A's for first talent. That's good. That's what I like to see. And yeah, B's. I'm talking about the talent level I'm looking to see here. There is a scouting tool that I use. I dropped it in an earlier episode in the descriptions, and I think I'm going to do that again for you guys, and maybe just keep it as a reminder. Those of you who have not moved on to Madden 21 for whatever reasons, may be still playing Madden 20 and trying to get the most out of it. Well, this scouting guide tells you, okay, what rounds are you looking for? What projected rounds are you looking for? What stats? I mean, having these letter grades is fine, but what do they mean? Where do you want to see them for what position? So things like hit power for a defensive lineman may not be as important as his finesse moves if you're looking for a pass rusher, or his tackling if you're looking for a good defensive tackle. Hit power is not one of the big things you want to see. In theory, I mean, yeah, causing fumbles is nice, but it's more importantly if the guy can move and actually play in your system. Let's go ahead with the training. I've already gone over how I train and how I focus my players. Deep pass PO for the offensive line and quarterback, and defense run gap, because I want my defensive linemen and linebackers to get... Let's go sim, make sure I do that so I don't have to play. And let's get our points. Let's go. I focus on offensive linemen since they don't get devs upgrades as well. And let's see, I got a lot of people. Yeah, lots of upgrades. This is a good week for our guys. So Vernon Hunt, the starting right end, moved out to rush edge in the rush package. And let's take a look at what his ratings are. He's got pretty decent power moves, decent block shedding. He's got great speed and acceleration for a guy his size. He's 6'3", 312. He moves fast. That is like a speed rusher, Ed, almost. And I think I'm going to get his block shedding up one more, if I can, and then go with his power moves. Because I want him to be able to shed those blockers, get around them. Oh no, only 2. Well, wow! There we go. I only got 2, but that first one was a +3 to what I was looking for. So that is a great upgrade. Now his block shedding is 82, same as his power moves. And then I think going forward, we'll go with his power moves. Tanner Malone, the breakout pass rushing specialist. I did not expect this from him this year. He is now with 12 sacks on the season. I think he's still in 3rd or 2nd place because there's a Tops guy with like 15 even before last game. So his finesse moves are 83. Let me look for his block shedding. Does he even have... there it is, 75. So his block shedding isn't great. So I think, again, since his finesse moves are so much farther ahead than his block shedding, even though he's doing very well, I think he could do better. So let me go with a run stopper upgrade and see if he gets the block shedding. Wow, 4 upgrades. Block shedding 1, recognition 2, strength 1, tackle 1. Those are all nice developments. Kevin Crockett, the starting center. Glad to see him get up. Let's take a look at him. He's got good run blocking power. His pass blocking isn't as good. Yeah, he's way behind on the pass blocking, and he's not a finesse guy. So, I'd like to be him a little bit more balanced. I think we're doing okay in the run. We were struggling in the passing game, so I think I'm going to go pass protector here. 3 upgrades, awareness 1, pass block 1, and finesse 1, so he's not a finesse guy. Tyson Kerr, the backup running back, who we're getting a lot of production out of in a backup role. I don't think... yeah, he still needs some time to play. So let's see. A lot of speed, acceleration, agility, that's all good. Good vision. Carrying is a little low. That's what he's going to need to improve. So let's see if there's something there that improves carrying. And nothing specifically does. Well, I'm going to go... he is an elusive back. At this point, it doesn't really make much sense to keep him away from that. Maybe receiving in the future, but... break tackle, there he goes. +2 carrying, we needed that. And 2 more elusiveness. Elusiveness. That word eluded my mouth. 83 elusive now. That's great. Good. I like him. I mean, if anything should happen to Dalton Triplett, I think Kerr could come in and do a good job. Big McCarthy. Let's see what he could use. I think his catching. Yeah. He's, for some reason, even though his catching isn't as good as Ramsey, he plays better on the field, and I think it's just because his agility is so much better. But we want him to get his catch skills up, and I think we'll just go with possession. And, yeah, tight ends get a ton of upgrades. Awareness, catching, medium route, pass blocking, pass power blocking, run blocking, short route, and +5 to pass block finesse. Holy moly. I don't think I've seen one go +5 before, any trait. So he does get an upgrade to his hands, that's good. And, you know, yeah, Milton Katz, the rookie guard, and he struggles with agility. He's just not an agile guy, so let's see if this can help. Ooh, that might have been the wrong choice. Run block finesse +3, only 1. Well, it is something he needs. It's something he's terrible at, but he may not have a future on this team because of those speed and agility ratings. As a guard, he just can't pull. Denario Blanton, the number 2 pass coverage specialist linebacker, and if he's going to stay on this team and have a starting role, he's got to improve in his run stopping. He's just not that strong against the run, and that's where he really needs to improve. So let's get him run stopping. Only 2. Shedding 3 and tackle 1. Well, he needed both of those. So now his tackle 75, and his block shedding is 62. Yeah, he's definitely a pass coverage guy. Donnell White, the number 2 wide receiver now, moved up the depth chart. Let's see what he's looking like. Well, catching, but I think just about anything. Route running could be better. Let's see. They want to go physical. I don't think I want to go that way. Route runner. Yeah, let's go route running. I want to see him. Wow. Good upgrade. Catching traffic 1. Catching +3. So that's what I wanted to see. Medium route and short route go up. Okay, so that catch rating will really help him. That gets him up to an 80 now. That's a lot better than a 77. Good job. James Christ, the run-stopping linebacker. No doubt about it. Just going to keep him at that. That's his role. He probably won't be on the team next year because he's, I believe, 29 years old. Shedding, tackle, and coverage. So, yeah, you can see, though his block shedding may not be all that great, he is a much better tackler than is Denario Blanton. And Aaron Posey, the undrafted free agent wide receiver, I'm just going to keep him with deep threat. He hasn't really seen much time on the field. Got his catching up +3, mead route, spec catch, catching traffic. As you see, I just can't... The games are so close except for that one blowout. I just haven't been able to get him time on the field. So he's got a lot of speed. Decent catching. Route running is really poor. He is a one-trick pony, and his role may not exist next season. With this team, anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look at our stats now on the year. It's been a while since we've taken a look at them. And we'll just give you an idea where everybody ranks. Now you can see Kiefer Byrne. We're a run-based offense. As you can see there, Dalton Triplett with his league-leading rushing yards, and Perry Wood with his 3 breakout games is moving up the charts fast. But passing game, not our great suit. So let's take a look at how the guys are doing. So Kiefer Byrne is having a decent sophomore season. Let's compare him to his rookie year. And you can see the yardage on the year may end up being right around the same. Pretty much a big improvement here between the touchdown and interception ratio. And he's had a couple of turnovers he had an interception last game, so it went from 7 to 8. And that's been a while since he threw his last one. He was having troubles earlier in the year. Sacks have been a problem lately, and we've had to change around the offensive line thanks to Seth Costanzo's injury. He will be back for that very last game of the season. So if this team is going to go in the playoffs, that is a huge development that may really help this team get the passing game going. And the running game is back, but the passing game has suffered. And you can see Dalton Triplett, almost 300 carries, almost 1,300 yards. The touchdowns are down because, for whatever reason, he just doesn't get the ball in the end zone that much. And we don't pass the ball in the end zone so very much, and our defense scores touchdowns quite often. There's Tyson Kerr in his backup role, limited duty, but 4.5 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. Only has 1 fumble. I say he's got fumbling problems, but he's only got 1 fumble in that carry. And he's good in the passing game, which is where we use Christian Stackhouse mostly, and maybe Kerr takes over that role next year because Stackhouse will no longer be with us. Niles McKell, very limited duty. He is the short yardage power back, and our offense just doesn't use a power back that much. They rather give the ball to Triplett in those situations, and I'd prefer him to get it. On the receiving end, Perry Wood, by far and away the star on this team, just went over 1,000 yards last game and got his 10th receiving touchdown, which was a huge one. They rely on Mick McCarthy quite a bit. As you can see, he catches some pretty crucial passes on 3rd and short, 2nd and medium, picks up the 1st down here and there. Dalton Triplett being used heavily out of the backfield. Had a screenplay last week that went for some big yardage. Stackhouse, you can see, gets a lot of reception in limited role. He comes in as the slot receiver, but we made that change to make it Perry Wood instead. So he is primarily just a receiver out of the backfield. Donnell White just got his chance to start at the number 2 wide receiver, so he's had very limited time. Same thing with Parrish McCarthy. He's been the number 3 man, but since I rotate out the wide receivers, he's more like the number 4, because we run somebody else in the slot now. And you can see Ramsey's had a few catches and very limited action. Tyson Kerr, been pretty good. Rennell Battles played last week, and that might be the last time he suits up in game time for the Sentinels unless an injury happens. And Josh Cantwell hasn't played much, but he does have 1 touchdown. That was a goal line touchdown that they just ran a play-action power fake, and he was wide open. Blocking-wise, we're having some difficulty. Kevin Crockett has been amazing. 13 games, only 1 sack allowed. So he's doing great. You can see how well Seth Costanzo was doing and how much we miss him, as he's only given up 2 sacks in 7 games. As in comparison, Shaquem Wagner has led up 2 in 5 games. Radovich is holding down the left tackle spot since he's moved there. Matthew Hardy has been doing very well. He's let up a couple of sacks recently in the last couple games. And we've gone up against some very good defenses, so I don't really knock him for that. Gibson started the year at left tackle, but then has moved to backup center, where I think he's a better fit. And Sean Beatles has been pretty solid at right tackle. You'll see that if I ever go through it, the league leader in sacks allowed, they're up to over 20 sacks let up. That's crazy. Quarterbacks are getting killed this year. On the defensive end, it is London Bates by far and away, just tackling everything out there. 141 tackles, 15 for a loss, 4.5 sacks. Got his first interception of the year. I believe that was the game before last against, oh boy, I'm drawing up the Vikings. That's right. Nate Youngblood, though, I didn't know this, but he is second on the team with 105 tackles out of his strong safety position, because that, in the Baltimore defense that we're running, is an extra linebacker, essentially, an in-box safety. That means they play in the box closer up to the defensive line and the line of scrimmage, and just acts as an extra linebacker. Not asked to drop back in coverage that much, but he's been doing pretty well there, as you can see. London Blades, the other safety, or I call him London. I keep messing up these names, I'm sorry. LaMarcus Blades has 90 tackles, 7 for loss, 1 interception, lots of deflections. Zaire Witherspoon is my slot corner, and he's on the field a lot. We use a 3-corner formation quite often, and again, he is acting as more of a run stopper. That's how this defense uses that slot corner, up against the line of scrimmage, rushing against the would-be runners, and you can see lots of tackles for loss. Does have 2 interceptions. He does struggle in coverage a bit. That's why he's not a starting corner or starting safety anymore. I just felt this was the best role for him, and I think he's doing very well in it. Denario Blanton, I used to have him in as the pure number 2 linebacker, but we were giving up way too many running yards. And in the last couple of weeks, this team has improved from the dead last against the rush to they're now, I think, 26th, 25th now. And that's just in the span of a couple of games where we've moved James Chris to the middle linebacker on running downs, and Denario still plays in passing downs, which you can see he excels in. Aaron Kershaw is Nothing short of amazing. He tackles people. He gets his nose in on the sacks, leads the league in interceptions this year with 5, has 15 deflections, which I also believe is up near the top, if not the top in the league. He shuts down the opponent's offense. Whoever's matched up against him, they might win a couple of matchups like you saw Flynn do for the Miners last week. Early on, Flynn was winning, but when it counted, when the game was on the line, Kershaw stepped up and shut him down. He had nothing for the rest of the game. Tanner Malone, with his 12 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss, has also proved that he is good against the run. He's having a phenomenal season. He is far and away blowing by his expectations I had for him. When I looked at him, 1 sack, 3 sacks, and I took over the team this year in 2034, 12 sacks out of nowhere. I did not know this was going to come from him, and I'm glad it has, though, because it's really helped out this team. Vernon Hunt was, I believe, the first draft pick, and the reason why is because this team needed rush, and he has moved over to the edge rush position on passing downs, and he still plays typical right end on the running downs. But they did that because Sean Stewart wasn't really producing in the rushing role. Julius Lamb is the number 2 corner. You can see only 1 interception, but a lot of passes defended. He is a gambler. He's got game-breaking speed, but doesn't have great agility. And sometimes he can be exploited because he'll go to make a play and it will not turn out well for him. But he's good at what he does, pressuring, man coverage, and yeah, he's been doing pretty well for it. There you can see Sean Stewart, only 1.5 sacks. That 1 came in the last game, oddly enough, when he's been subbed out of his role. Does have 1 interception. Been a big play guy, though. You can see he's got 43-yard interception return. I believe that was for a touchdown. He's got 2 fumble recoveries, and I think 1 of those went for a touchdown as well. So also very strong against the run. You can see by the 12 tackles for loss. Sheldon Bates is the big nose tackle, 6'3", 353, and his role is just to eat up blocks and kill the run game, and in his role, he has been doing that job. He does not stay in on rushing downs anymore. Kent Patton is the number 4 corner, and he had significant playing time when Aaron Kershaw missed essentially a whole game. Other than that, he sees time on special teams. And then you can see some of the other backups here. Forrest Barker has 2 sacks and very limited action. Tracy Felton, the left end, is now the rush D-tackle, and he has been doing well as a situational runner, or pass rusher, sorry. Diamond McCoy is now the backup free safety. Connor Battles, you can see, is a backup right outside linebacker, and he's got 2 sacks in limited time. Lennox Steven is now the backup strong safety, and he has been producing in his limited time. There you can see Chris's performance in his role as the run stopper. Jajon Monroe has got some playing time, Carr and McMillan, but nothing major going on there. As for the kicking game, I think we all know the well-documented struggles of Wes McGuire. He's got that 1 long, which is still the longest kick made this season by any kicker. But other than that, it has been a nightmare for him from beyond 50 yards. He did make 1 last week, which was exactly a 50-yard kick. So he is now 3 of 13 on 50 and longer. Now, you don't want to have to rely on your kicker to make those kind of field goals, but with the way this team plays, they need somebody that can make those field goals. These games have been close, except for one or two extraordinary blowouts. Spencer Parsons is amazing in one aspect. These inside the 20 punts, he is by far the leader with 21. Not so much on the average and net average, but if you're stopping the other team, 30% of the time you're putting them inside their 20 and giving us great field position so our defense can really capitalize and cause havoc. And I think that's really, he's been secretly a really key weapon for us, making the defense as successful as it is. So there you see where everybody stands. I'm going to go ahead and end this video now to keep it short. And then we're going to come back and take a good look at our next opponent, the 7-6 Celtic Tigers. So thanks for joining me, everybody. I want to give a big shout out to all the new subscribers that I've been getting over the last couple days. That is great. Thank you. But one thing I didn't know, I'm a new YouTuber, I'm new to everything here, is that unfortunately, if you subscribe and don't comment or don't interact in some way, YouTube doesn't count you. They think you don't exist. So you don't actually count as a subscriber, even though you subscribed. How crazy is that? I don't understand how YouTube comes up with all this stuff. But unfortunately, that's the case. So I hate self-promoting. I hate asking you to do this. I do. It's not who I am. I feel really bad every single time I post on Twitter or anything to say, hey, I just made a new video. Woohoo, come follow me, please. Well, unfortunately, I have to. That's the way this kind of works. So, unfortunately, yes, I'm going to have a video that says, hey, here's another video you might like. Hey, here's the playlist where all this. And there's going to be a subscribe button. And I'm also going to ask you to comment or like or something or interact, even if it's just to say, boo, you stink, whatever it is, it's an interaction, and that's all YouTube seems to care about. They don't care about positive or negative, just as long as there's activity. So again, sorry to have to ask you, but I kind of do have to. And I appreciate every single one of you. I want to thank you for joining me for this ride to what looks like the promised land, at least the promise that Shaq Hennessy has made to get this team into the playoffs, and it's looking real good. It is looking so good. This team has won no more than 5 games in an entire season since we started this Madden, which was well before 2034. I'm talking about before I even did the relocation. They haven't won a season in, what, 14, 15 years? And now Shaq Hennessy comes in with almost the same roster. 1 draft, 1 free agent class, and look at the change in culture has done for this team. They are 9-4 in the waning weeks of this first season. So thanks again, folks. You have a great one, and we'll see you next episode. Take care now.